All right. So, thanks everyone for tuning in part 5 of building the COVID-19 tracker app with Flutter. My name is Khaled, and today we're gonna take a look how to integrate history data inside our application and add location for the countries, so we can open in the country screen and we can see the history of the cases for the numbers that we obtain for each day. We will look about how to implement charts inside our application. Also, we're gonna take a look on maps, Google Maps, and checking how we can add this inside our application. So let's get started. So as you can see now, I'm building the application, the state what we reached on, and I believe I will have again some issues in the performance due to coding and streaming on the same machine. So our app is opening, and this would be the state that we left the app on the last on our previous stream. We integrated animation, we added the summary on top. I believe we didn't integrate that animation. We only added the summary tiles, and we integrated search. And on country page, we added the country flag and the confirmed cases on the numerics that we have. So the plan is to display underneath the flag chart that would be showing the cases during these values for each day. So we're gonna make like a line chart, and so first thing, we need to fetch the history, and after that we will be adding the charts package. And for that I have let's see, I have a JSON file for the history of data. It's basically the same information that we have extracted from same model, but instead of only one, it's a list of the same of days that have been fetched. This is pretty big in size, so I believe this is around 3 megabyte. And also we need to check for a mechanism that we can cache this inside the application somehow once, so it will not be every time doing the reloading thing. So we'll get to that in a minute. So this is our JSON, and once it finished, as you might see, it's pretty big, like around 3 megabyte. And as I mentioned, it's not the best case that we fetching all the data once, because it's containing all the days for all the countries, for all the cases, so it's a pretty big file. So for that, we will be implementing now the network call to fetch and parse this data, and then afterward we can do, as you might see, it's taking a lot of time. So what I will do now, I will exit the page. I will take that JSON, and I will come to my services, networking, and basically it's the same code here, but instead of calling this live API, so I will be calling that JSON which containing the whole data. And what I will do, I will just like copy that and paste it. So instead of returning dashboard data, I will be returning the dashboard history data. And instead of returning a COVID dashboard, I will be returning a list of COVID 19 dashboard. And as you might see here, we're only returning, we decoding this as JSON.body, we're decoding this as only a dynamic data. So instead of that, I will get a list of data, list of dynamic. And what we will do here is that we will make I need to rename this so I can differentiate it from that. So it's dashboard history results, yeah. And this one I will be adding add all, and I will be add that inside the list. I believe this would be so I will say that just reviewing fetching that and on this nothing item. Oh yeah. So we'll be adding all, add all, and we will be adding the data, or we will name it the list. So what we will do is we will say list dot map, and we will map each item inside that list to be serialized and added to the our list. So we will take an item, and this should be inside a bracket, and that will be returning, or what we will perform that on the map. So I'll take that, and I'll perform this. And let's check what we have here. We don't have data, we have list. And don't have this, don't have that. Close it, let's check why it's going. So we are mapping. Yeah, now it's gone. Yeah, okay. So this is our list, so we'll be returning that. Okay. So I will be changing the URL from that API to the history link that we have. Not that one. Let me bring it back. Okay. So basically this is the same, but instead of getting only one object, we're returning a list, and inside this we making a list of that should be empty, so it will not give us an error. We initiate an empty list of this history results, and we start adding all that by making a mapping on each item that we deserialize it with our serializer of this COVID-19 dashboard, and it will be returned as an history. So for that, I will be adding this call, the dashboard get data. I will be awaiting that also, and we will be getting both this two information in our network call. So I will be shifting to the dashboard here, and I will be going to the get data, and basically here we are setting our data, which is our COVID. So for that I would say this COVID, this is the data, and I will make a new list, a list of COVID-19 dashboard, yeah, and this will be history data, or we can data history. So this is data history, and we will initiate it as an empty, or we can initiate it inside here. So I'll take that copy. After end state, I will be adding it here, and I will be removing that. So thank you, Venus, for the comments. Okay, so here now we have the data history, and down I will be fetching that. So I will be awaiting also the same call. So here I will be getting the results. Okay, so I will be having a list. What I will do, I will just like declare it as a var result history equal await network get history history data. Okay, so and what I will do here is I will be adding the result history to our result history that we have, the data history. So I will say the data history will be equal result history. Okay, that should be working fine. Forming hot reload, and to test that I will be doing a print for the data history to check what is the values that it contain. So I'll save that. So still waiting for a hot reload, and I will do again a hot reload. And we'll go back. And we will do a refresh. And hopefully it's not string. What? Okay. So the thing is, some elements might have some issues here, and if we continue doing that, we will see some errors here that which is countries. Okay. As not subtype of string. So what we done here, let's check why we're getting this. So we are decoding the body, we're taking the body, we're taking this, and we add it as a list, and we're iterating on each item. So basically the errors say that deserialization, let's call it failed you, string dynamic, not subtype of string. That's weird. We made a list of dynamic, so why it's getting that error? Okay, that's fine. So let's do one thing. We have some issues in some countries, as I believe, and might some values coming wrong. So let's open that file to check what is the values that we have, and we can check here the recent the downloads, and I will be opening that file. So this is our JSON history, and it should be formatted as JSON, but I don't know why it's not formatted. Okay. I think it takes time. And we will start, I believe, to see some values also taking null. So we have here country code coming as null, and this might affect the app if it's not. This is the issue. So what I will do is, to be on safe side, I will be marking the fields of the country as a nullable, so we will not have any issues during this thing. So for that I need to close the app, I'll stop that, and I will be going to the countries. This is, by the way, we done it with the build collection and build value. It's basically a built value. So we done this abstract class and make a factory of it, and this technique that we used in the first stream is to make to achieve the immutability inside the parsing JSON, and make sure that the data that we are getting is that. So if you don't know about the construction of how we done this thing, you need to check out the first stream of the series. So what I will do, I will come on top of every because I don't nullable. So I'll be add a declaration as a nullable. I'll check if it's okay. Nullable. I lost the intelligence, I believe. Why is it not closing? I close this thing. Oh my god. My VS Code crashed. It's not responding. Sorry. I have an issue here in that VS Code, so I will be saving that. I will be reopening it again. The tracker. So it's loading the length and the checkings. And should show here our device. So on let's show the device so we know that we connected to that thing. Let's check. So using the yeah. And we'll come back here and we'll be adding our declaration along each item on top of each declaration here. So we have here belts and we have here and we have an arrow here, should be okay. So this is just to be safe because I don't trust this history data, so it's better and after doing this we need to rebuild the country's part file, this the .j.dart. So for that I will be deleting this file and we will go to terminal. Oh, I deleted the wrong file now. Let's restore that thing. I deleted the wrong file. So yeah, I deleted the right file. Why it's showing here? Countries. Why it's oh no, that one. Yeah. So I will be restoring this. I'll delete it or I remove it. No, I need to restore it. I'll be rebooting it back. What's going on here? Where is restore? Is this a joke? I'll be rebooting it back. Yeah. And I'll delete that. And after that I will be issuing a command to use the build runner, which is a code generator inside, to regenerate the country's part file. So for that I will be issuing flutter bob run build runner build. Also we can make it as watch, so it will watch the changes and make it as it change, but for now I will make it as build, and that will generate the Dart tool checking your directories and checking for the part files, and it will start to do the generation for that things. So this should be building now. and it's taking a lot of time. And we have an issue, so we need to add a flag, which is delete context. So we will add this thing so it can rebuild the whole thing. So we'll be issuing the same command, but after we'll be adding the delete conflict, just to check the audio level. Okay, and let's rerun this again. So as you may see now, it's because we issued this flag, it deleted all the .g the part files, and now it will start regenerating all these part files after it scanned the whole thing. So we have here the two models, the countries and the COVID dashboard one, and we have here the serializers, which is used by both to do the serialization for the JSON prompt and to JSON, and it's also have a part file. So all that have been cleared, and it will be regenerating this thing, the part files again. So question here, do you prefer doing the models manually instead of using QuickType.io? Actually, when I started using them manually, and I found the process itself, it's a little bit tedious. If I'm taking, if it's a small, yeah, I could do it, but if the model is big and I need to do like a lot of stuff, adding all that files, uh, the trick is I'm using a website to add this JSON file, and it do generate the classes, the main classes. This is the countries. For example, I took the JSON, and there is a website which is let me open that. It's I believe I added it inside. I showed that website in my first stream. It's JSON to build value. So this is the website, that one. So this is JSON to Dart built value class converter. So what I do, just I'm pasting the JSON here, and I change the name of the class, and I do convert, and rather than doing all this this code inside our factories and stuff, it's do a nice job doing that thing. So for example, if I will take that and I done that in the first stream, what I will do, I will just take this API, and I add it here, and it get me the data. And by the way, I'm using an extension, that's why it's making shape like that. So I take the JSON input, I go to this menu, I take the JSON input all, and then I go to this website, I paste it, and then I just change it. For example, this is the COVID-19 class. So what I do, I just like write COVID-19 data, and even when I'm doing this uppercase, lowercase, it's converting that, it's separating them by an underscore, so doing a nice job. So what I would do, it's generated because this is contain data and a list of data inside, nested data inside that list. So it contained, it generated first the COVID-19 data, which is the main entries, and for the countries, it created a build list, and it made a build list library file. So I take this as a separate file, took those two files, I added them here, as you might see inside the model. So I have one countries, one the COVID dashboard, which is the same case as it here, and I just run the build runner command, and it's generating all the code, which is take a lot of time. So this is a very neat trick I'm using in parsing JSON. It worked for me, and it's like quickly, and I'm planning to take this implementation and do it as an XE. So actually I was working on something like that in Dart. So what you might do is to take the JSON file, put it inside an input folder, and it will generate these two files directly, and you just like take them, grab them, put them here, and run the build runner, and that's it. You don't even need to go to this website to add all that thing. So I'm planning to release this tool soon, and open source it. So you just have a folder, put the JSON inside, and run the command. It will generate the files, and it will give you the classes inside an output folder. Take this and put it inside your code, and just run the build runner, and it will generate the part files, and it will be end of this story. After that, I'm just using the normal part, which is I'm calling here the serializer from the serializer class after I'm specifying or putting the models inside, because when I added these two classes I have here inside the serializers, I need to add the serializer 4, and I'm adding only the main class. If it's nested a build list or something, it will be get serialized from inside it. So I don't need to put both the COVID-19 dashboard file and the countries file. It's inside it, so it will do this whole parsing thing. And I'm just calling that inside my network services here. So I do the serialization if it's one object, or I'm doing it mapping on each item if it's a list. And with that, I'm finishing the parsing. And thank you for the question, by the way. Okay, moving back to what we were doing here. So we regenerated that. Now I will issue a build run. I hope it will run, so I will be start debugging, and let's see. As every time I'm saying, in my future stream, I'll try to make the coding in one machine and the streaming in another machine, because the streaming is affecting my machine dramatically. So it's very slow, as you might see, and it's taking a lot of time to build or to do to catch up with the IntelliSense and the editor. So hopefully I'll be managing this by my next stream. I see that I'm running late, and we didn't even finish what it even parsed the history data until now. So I really apologize for that. And I need to connect my power socket. Okay, so while it's building, let's check the charting mechanism that we want to do here. So the scenario, as I mentioned, that we need to go to the country itself, and when we touch the country, it should be showing here the chart. Okay, so for that, we need to use a package, and fortunately we have packages, nice packages for the charts inside our Bob repo. So if we search it for charts here, we'll find a lot of charts, multi-charts, modern charts. And I have been using for the last year this charts Flutter. This is an implementation by the Google team, so this is like an official thing. It's maintained by Google. It's material design data visualization library written natively in Dart. It has an online gallery here. You can navigate here. You might see whatever you want to do in the chart thing. They have a simple stacked group. This is the types of the charts it has. It has a time series here. It has scatter plot, combo charts, bar charts, customization on the axis if you want, for the legends. It has a lot of stuff. But what I found that it's still not production ready. As you might see, it's still in the, not even in one release. And the issue with it is some things inside take from me a lot of time to implement. Like, for example, if I'm doing multi-series, I need to do some sort of colorization and stuff in that. Sometimes I get weird errors, like really weird. I don't know why it's coming like that. The thing is, you can go to the GitHub repo and you just add an issue, and you might find here there is a lot of issues here, as you might see. Last update was not as expected that it will be. As you might see, there is like a lot of opens. I mean, this I'm not saying that this is a bad package. It's good. It's good for doing a basic charting thing. But luckily, yesterday or the day before, I believe, I stumbled with this package, which is Syncfusion Flutter charts. And this package also provides a lot of charting. It's production ready. It's maintained, as you might see here. This is last change from the changelog. It's rapidly worked on. As I might believe, this was yesterday, changed the version. And this is really a nice package to use for the charting thing. So it has the line, the area, whatever the charts that you might need. It has a neat control, whatever you have. Even if you're doing live data streaming and updating, for example, using streams or something like that, stock prices, you can do live charts and a lot of charting options here. So for the sake of this demonstration, we'll be using this package, and I will be adding this integration inside. I don't believe that we will be doing both the charts and the mapping. At least we will do the charts today, because I believe we took a lot of time. So let's get started with that thing, and I need to take the installation and add this in the Bob spec YAML. So I'll minimize this. Our code's still building. This is a disaster. I don't know what to do with this thing. It's taking a lot of edge. I mean, the streaming thing is hideous. So anyway, we'll be double using it, so I will stop it now, and I will be adding this to the Bob spec YAML. And at least we will build and get the package information. So inside this, I will be adding, after the enter library, I will be adding the charts. And for the state management, I'll be using provider. So I will be adding provider. And I will take provider, I'll check the versioning. I can put any, but it's better to check the versioning. So provider, and the version of the provider 4.1.2. So this is what we have here. For let's put the caret thing for 4.1.2. So okay, so we added provider, unexpected concurrent. Oh, okay, let's save again. Wise wind. What's coming from tasks? I need this for Flutter. So we're doing Bob, Flutter Bob get to get the packages, and we should be good to go. Also, for the sake of, we will be adding maps. So maps, we'll be getting Google Maps. We'll check. This is the official one. Still not on the release, but we can use it. So we will add also the Google Maps, and Google Maps need some extra configuration because it needs to be configured on the Google Cloud console. So you need to enable this for the package, and if we're using Firebase for the application, we can benefit from the API key which is provided by the Firebase infrastructure there, because we when we integrate Firebase inside, or we adding Firebase, it's creating an API key that we can use inside our application. So for now, we will be doing the charts, and I'm adding a provider here for the sake of state management, and Google Maps will check if we can do something today, or we will be doing this on later videos. So for that, after I will be rebuilding the application again, and we'll check from here. So I will be doing, so let's hope this finish, and we will start debugging it. I don't know why it's stuck here, so we already built that, so I don't know, cancel. Let's go here and start debugging. It will not, that's because we open here on the bobspec.yaml and take care of this thing. Sometimes it's coming like that. You just like do on any Dart file, you can come here and then do the start debugging, and this will start from the main file. So now our application is building, and until it builds, let's check how we can add state management inside. So basically, I need something to hold the data during on all the screens, so I can call the context and I can grab this data from anywhere. And for that, I will be making a block. And let's just close this before we create a new file, so we can make that. So I will be making here a new folder, and I will call it block. And inside block, I will make a new file called, I will name it global block .dart. And what we will do, I will be importing material. I will be import. I hope the IntelliSense will catch. If it's not, let's come here. We'll take the material from top. We don't have material here, so we have material inside our screens. So we'll take here material, photo package material. Okay. So we'll be adding this because we need the change notifier. and we'll make a class called global block, and this will be extends change notifier. Okay, so change notifier will be implementing. This is a class that we can have to for the monitoring the block or work with the block to make the changes. And after doing this, we need to add, for example, a value. So we will be working with this block, but to add the block inside our mechanism, we need to add it on the beginning on our main. So I'll be going here on the main.dart, and I will be adding the block here. So for that, I will be importing provider. So I need to import the provider package, which is, by the way, in the configuration. So for the sake of the speed of this thing, so I can go to provider, and we can check here the provider which we'll be using here. So we'll be adding a provider. So here, this is the installation part. So we added the provider, we issued, and we will be adding our import. And after that, we will go to the examples. We will find here in the example this is an application. It's running on a multi-provider thing. It's from the top here. So I'll be replacing this part. I will be adding this part, this run app, all. I will take it, and I will be adding it here on the top here. Actually, we can put it here on the main, I mean in the build function, but let's better put it in the top hierarchy. So we have here the main thing, and I will be adding this is the change notifier provider, which is coming from material. Why it's mentioning like that? Yeah, because we didn't specify the type of the provider. So we have here change provider, change notifier provider, and the type is a global block. That's global block, and which will add automatically, and it will get us global block. Okay, so we added our provider that we can call from anywhere in our application, so we can check that. And I will show you why we need this app. So we integrated our change provider, provider inside. This is multi-provider, meaning that we can add multi-providers here, but we are using one. But for the sake of this application now, we will start with one and we'll graduate through this thing. So now we can run our app. So I will be start debugging. Now I'll put this back. And until it's launched, let's check the documentation for the charting. So going back to the charts, we will go to the example. And inside the example, which is mentioning here that we need to add these two imports. So we will be adding these two imports. Let's add them in our countries because we will display it in countries. So we will go to our files, country screen. We added these two imports, and what's here? Now it's mentioning here that inside the main, we need to add this line before returning our application. So for that, I will be adding this line on the beginning on the main, and we need an API key. So I will be adding this here, and we need a license key here. So for the license key, we need to navigate to the website of the provider here, which is Sync version. So we'll open the website, and they will have a subscription here. So this is my subscription. It's mentioning here the state of my app. So let's say I will be signing out, or let's we will be opening this a new window, and we'll be doing a new account so we can have this thing. So we have here products. We have here there is a community edition or community version that you can use for the this Essential Studio, and basically I believe it's in, let's check up here the pricing. Where it was. So we will do one thing. We will Google API or what you call license. Community license. So we have here a community license, which for companies and individuals with less than $1 million in revenue. So we will be applying for that. And for that we need to sign in with our LinkedIn or sign in with Zing. So you can do the sign up, but for now I will be adding my API license. So in sake of this demonstration, and I need to do this import. I believe this one of the imports need to be done here. So we'll be coming back. We'll take the, I believe, the core, and that will be here. So it went away, and is our app even building? I don't believe that the app is not even building. Why? What happened here? What happened? Output debug. What happened? So the Java install Google. Okay, what happened here? It was working before. Okay, let's check that. So we'll be issuing this command and password. Okay, one Java installed. Okay, let's do Flutter run. And we will back to the documentation here. Here we have a demo, and it have a scaffold, and it have in the body that chart, and the chart have a series of data, and this is the class of the data itself. It's coming here. So we will be taking this chart to demonstrate in our application here. So now this is running. Okay, I will come to the countries. I will be adding this on the top, not that countries, the other countries, the countries screen. So I'll be coming to the countries screen. and I will be adding this on top of the confirm, so I will be adding this here. And because this is a chart, we need to take care for, I think we have an extra. No? Yeah, for an extra. We need to take care because the chart need to be inside a container or something size boxes, some container. So for this approach, we will be wrapping this inside a container. So I will be pressing this bulb here, and I will wrap it inside a container. And for its size, I will take the width, and I will be contacting the media query, which give us a handle or access on the things like size, orientation of the application, which is running on the context. So I will be calling the media query dot off context, and I will take the size, and for the width I will keep it the width, but I will make it a little bit smaller, so I will -10 for the format. For the height, oops, for the height I will not take it the same width, I will take it the size, but it should be the width. Okay, so I need this dot width, and this one will be, I will take it as 75% of the width, not fully big, so I will take the same, or width multiplied by 70%. So I will wrap this inside. And I should be good to go. Here it needs a sales data class. So I will be, just for the sake of demonstration, we will put this same example data so we can see what we are dealing with. So I'll be adding this class here. Not here. This is an extra class, so I'll be added outside. Save. So it should reflect now. We're adding a class in the same file, so it should be reflecting that. We're still building, so this is not what expected, but we don't have any errors now as we have all the data, so we should be having a chart here displayed. And for the ABR key, I will be adding this inside the application. So I will be getting my ABR key, but I will not be showing that. So for that, I need to switch here to the screen temporary, and I'll be adding this. So I'll come to my dashboard and license, downloads, keys, and all that you can do it yourself when you do the sign up. And for the sake of the tutorial, and of course, because this is my license, I will not be showing that. But you easily can do it. It's free, and you can use it. And I will get the Flutter, and this is the version. I will get a license key, and it will get you a license key. I will take that, I will save it inside my main, push back, save, close this, and we're switching back to our desktop. So most of the time is wasted inside the building the application. Again, I'm very sorry for that, but this is what's happening sometimes with in developing development environment. So we reach the compiling, linking, and signing. So we will have something shown here. I'm expecting an error because we added all that stuff. So I will need to do a hot reload or a hot restart. I believe a hot restart because we added the API key now while the building was doing. So let's get back to our application and still waiting. I mean, normally it doesn't take that time with me when I'm working on the same machine. But I believe because of the streaming thing and the simulator also running, both are consuming uh, memory processing stuff, all that. So it is what it is. So now our app is loading. It's opening. And I hope we'll not get any errors. Taking a little bit time because we getting that and we have an errors. So what is the errors? Again, same. Contribute, let's call it. Why is this coming here? So I will do a hot reload here, and we'll switch back to the networking because this thing didn't solve our. So we have here a list of dynamic, and we're getting this data, and we adding all the items inside, and we serializing it using our serializer. So why it's giving us this error? This is a little bit weird. So we get a list of dynamic. We'll make and listen with the code. This is a list of COVID. Okay. And we ended with a nasty error. Sorry. Did we break something? Yeah, we need to do hot restart, hot reload. Ah, I know why. I know why. In the dashboard we didn't specify the type of the list down, so that's why it's doing like that. So I need to specify the type. Rookie mistake. So here we added var. It should not be var. I think this is the it should be list of COVID-19. So dashboards, copy, history, set list. Let's check maybe that one. Cause the error. So what we'll do, we'll do a hot restart, and up here we didn't do var, right? On the list. Okay. Also we didn't initialize here. Okay. So we are doing hot restart. So this is the sake of type safety. Make sure that you declaring stuff. I believe this is the issue because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. And as you might see, the loading takes a little bit time because we are parsing again same error. Okay. There's my mouse. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. List of dynamic. Am I missing something? So where is the error is happening actually? It's happening inside. It's working 32, line 32. So this is 32. Okay. So we are serializing. Okay, we serialize at all. We serialize with item. We are mapping the item, we're adding it. Should we add it to the list? To list? To make it to list at the end? And on list. We're adding each dynamic, each map, each item. List of dynamic. We're mapping every item, dynamic item, to be added inside that list from that. Oh, the signature is wrong, that's why. Okay, so we save this and do a hot reload. Actually, we'll do a hot restart. Okay. Hopefully the application will not crash this time. I will not get this error, please. Running behind. Yes. Okay, our data scan. Everything is looks normal. This is our data because we're printing it inside our dashboard screen. Here we're doing the print, so this is our data coming. This is the history, which basically is getting every single data here. So I will be taking this data history and we will cache it once, and if the next time only on app launching, because if I do a reload it will take a lot of time, so until it parse. So for now I will just comment this line and we'll navigate to any country, and as you might see here we're seeing the chart. This is our chart from that thing. So the goal is to take this data and map, take the because the structure the structure is a little bit complicated. It's same as this COVID, but inside every one or every list of every item inside this, there is a country. So we need to select the country and build our values based on that. So and we need 3 series for this thing. So now we have the history data. What we can do now is push this data for temporary, to the country screen, and from there we'll be selecting and building our values based on that. Okay, so what I will do here, let's close that and we'll check the navigation. Where is our navigation? So where we call the country screen. Okay, inside our country screen we will push the history data for now. Okay, so I will be pushing the whole history data. After we will be final list of COVID-19 dashboard. We'll name it history, and this will be an empty history data. Okay, and this history data is initialized in the end state, so I'll take that. Okay, we don't have end state here, so I will be converting this to a stateful widget. So and I don't get any intelligence. Come on. So for now I'll make it chart item. I'll make a model here called chart item, but instead of boolean model, because I need to rebuild the application now because the file will not exit, I'll make it here and then we can move it later. So I will rename this chart item, and this is our constructor, and I will put here the date, and I will put here the count. Save that, and now this will screen because there is no chart item. So So I believe that we almost 1 hour plus, and we just fetched the history data. We didn't build the charts of this data yet, but we have here basic implementation of charts. Uh, and my machine is pushing me to my limit, and I can't work like this. So I believe for now I will be ending this stream as on that state, and in our next stream, hopefully I will be able to do the streaming in one machine and working normally on one other machine, so because this is not acceptable, and we can continue building the charts. We fetched now the data, we parsed the data, we show on a chart here, we added a state management, but we didn't use it yet, so we can use the state management, for example, to cache all the history inside it without at the first or at our application launch, and then the next time we do the reload, we don't need to go to fetch all the history because the history will not change for the previous days. Or we can do some sort of implementation that we can use, like for example stateless widgets, and we use I mean we can implement state management inside our widgets or screens. So with that, I'll be ending my stream, and I'll be doing the new stream by next week, hopefully, and we will continue implementing our application and fixing all that, and hopefully we'll get a boost on speed. Thank you for tuning in, and again I'm sorry for the what's going on in my machine. What's going on is, as you might see, it's not in a state of coding normally, because every keystroke I'm waiting for a long time. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.